You got 2 hands up. Let's try you. Yeah. No, the other guy with 2 hands up directly in front of you. Yes, you.
Oh.
You in the orange shirt that keeps asking if I'm talking about you.
I guess my question is, as a voice actor, like just starting out, how important is that first demo tape that you put out to put yourself out?
Are you asking this because you spent 5 years polishing your demo tape and haven't shown it to anyone?
That's not true, sir.
2 years?
I haven't done a demo yet. I've been through workshops.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to, like, how do I go about, like, putting out that demo? Like, what's the best method?
What's the best method to put it out or to create it?
To create it.
What kind of experience do you have with demo tapes?
It's funny, at Funimation anyway, I can't speak for other companies, but while directing there, we got submissions all the time of people's demo tape, or demo, actually MP3s, and I have to say it's very important. Because a good one, it's your calling card. It's the only way we know you, is how you sound. That's what we're listening for, obviously. So it needs to be very good, it's short and to the point, and show a variety of voices. It needs to be good. Because if it's good, you could be called upon. If it's bad, it may or may not end up in a mix of all the worst ones that we listen to for jokes sometimes. Because there's one, I remember the really good ones, and I remember the really bad ones. There was a bad one that he exactly did everything, like he textbook did everything wrong, to the point where you almost wanted to have him come in just to ask him some questions about life. Like, where do you see this going? I mean, he clearly did it from home. He used very bad equipment, and you don't want bad equipment to misrepresent you. So if you're very good, but it sounds like you're ordering a burger, run! No, and he was doing, so it was bad equipment, his acting was poor. Anytime he was showing his acting chops just meant to yell and get angry. Go! I'm acting. And then, like every character was like that. And the other thing he did is he used pre-existing characters that Funimation, like almost exclusively Dragon Ball Z characters. And for example, if you're going to do, like in Funimation, if you're going to do a Vegeta, we have one. And he's right there, and that is Vegeta. I mean, in other words, it's better to do, original stuff than pre-existing stuff. So bad equipment, pre-existing characters, and poor acting are what not to do. I don't know if did that help you. But just to keep it short, I will also say that that's the one part really, because you can get acting classes different places. It's very important to have acting chops, obviously. But if your demo's not good, it really is important. So I would say that's where you need to spend a little money. Because if you go to a studio that can do it for you properly, that's really worth it. And you can hold on to a good demo for a while, and then as soon as it starts to not get you work, that's when you tweak it. But I would say that's really, it's very important. And also it's good to have at least 2. One, the character demo, which is for video games and anime, and then one, or whatever, and one for a commercial demo, which is, the new Lexus blah 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 is an awesome car or whatever. Because in some cases, one job of selling a car on the radio will help fund your anime career. Because that's sometimes a gift that keeps on giving. So, and also my other quick advice would be, a lot of people say, I love anime, I want to get into voice acting for that reason, but I say, don't limit yourself. Because there's so many different avenues and so many different ways that you can use your voice. Throw as many noodles on the wall as you can to see which maybe more than one will stick. So it's commercials, it's audiobooks, it's anime, it's video games. So I would say, go for it.
Just further to the commercial thing, Nancy, you're probably following. Is it Brendan or is it John, or there's a local guy who got hired to do the voice of the Shaw radio commercials, and he's been who?
Yeah, it's Brendan.
Brendan, and he's been posting about it on Facebook, and he's really, really happy because he enjoys doing it, but he's also making a lot of money, which means that the next time they offer him, like, he can actually afford to wait for the next part that comes in. So yeah, earning money is. I just want to mention that because I hang out with a lot of actors, and nobody becomes an actor because they want to earn a lot of money.
It's true. There is kind of like a misconception at times that, oh, you do voice acting for anime, you must be rich. adorable. So one thing that is, and it's just to draw on your point a little bit. I've met some people that say, how do you get into voice acting? And we discuss it a little bit and say, well, no, I just want to do voice acting for my favorite anime shows. I'm like, well, you're probably going to be disappointed that if you're shooting for this tiny little target in a big world of voice stuff. I mean, I do voice work for anime, for American cartoons, for radio spots, for video games, for educational, instructional videos and things. Yes, perfect. Like, you know, like learn English and stuff. And like, I'll do little singing things every once in a while. I'm not the best singer, but you know, kids that can barely speak English because they're learning English, they're not going to care if well, they might care. I should stop talking about that. So yeah, limiting yourself is a problem. And as far as the demo tape goes, and this is just from what I've heard, the only time that you would put an impression of an existing character, like if you want to do, you know, Krusty the Clown from Simpsons or something, it better be spot on. It better be an homage to the person that does it. Just because your buddies say, oh, you do a pretty good Krusty, does not mean it should go on your demo tape. It better be like impressive to somebody in the industry. It's also good to get some feedback from people that know a bit about listening to demo tapes and stuff, because I've heard a couple where it's somebody that's trying to do 8 different voices having a conversation, and they will have a 10-minute conversation as part of their demo tape. Wow. Nobody's going to listen to your tape for 10 minutes, especially if it's, so like, there's a pace that's involved, you know, kind of like, I guess, for lack of a better term, as an industry standard, there's a certain pace that people are expecting when they're going to put one of these things on or load it up or whatever. So you should just be aware, do some research, see what's out there, see what, you know, successful voice actors are using as their demo reels, if you can find references for that. And just, you know, information is always a good thing, education and all that kind of stuff. So do your research and then go for it, I suppose.
The average person's attention span is 30 seconds. And if you don't believe me, stare at your thumb for 15 seconds. It'll be a nightmare. And if you have a casting person who listens to countless demos over and over, you really have to grab them, and it has to be good, or they'll go, no. So you don't want that to happen. And also, I would like to add on to what you said, as far as not only must the impersonation be spot on, but I would also say that with accents. I would say don't get too caught up in, you know, I can do a great Scottish or whatever. I hope it sounds like you're from Scotland, because if it doesn't, I will get somebody who came from Scotland. In other words, accents I would be very leery of too, unless they're very good. So.
And like with demo tapes too, I think quality over quantity is more important. You don't have to show how incredibly versatile you are. Particularly if you're like me and you're not really that versatile. Like there's a few things I do fairly well. So I don't have to show 18 different voices on a demo tape with 6 different accents. If I do one accent well, just put the one accent. You don't have to be experimenting with stuff that you're not comfortable with, that you're not, you know, experienced with yet in a demo reel, just to feel like I have enough stuff in here that shows versatility. You can have versatility in 4 different voices as long as they're honed in, they're dialed in, and they're done well. People will recognize. You know, like I said earlier, they're not going to hire me generally to play the big burly villain. So I'm probably not going to put one of those types of voices on my demo, because I can think of 20 other people in Vancouver that I would cast before myself for that type of a character. So I'll focus on the things that I actually have a better shot at.
Would you like to offer any observances from the Japanese experience?
It sounds like a complaining tough to answer this in front of my manager, but 日本は全然普段は事務所に所属していると事務所が決めてるんですか?
So in Japan, you wouldn't really be by yourself, but you'll be with a company that you're associated with. So the company will make the demo tape for you.
それはもう全部200人俳優がいたら200人一緒の200人分入ってる CD を作ってくる。
So if there's 200 people in the company, they'll make a CD that has 200 people's voice in that CD, one CD.
で、デモテープを撮る時期になると、デモテープを撮るから、浅川さんだったらクールな役、ちょっと英語喋ってる役、これでやってくださいって言ったりとします。
So if it's a time to seize it to take the demo page, they'll ask you, okay, so can you do one cool kind of voice, one sexy voice, one this kind of voice, and they'll actually ask her to do a certain type of voice.
Yes, だからすごくお金はかからないんですけど、埋もれちゃいますよね。
So it doesn't really cost much for a company to make these, but it does. She can't really make herself more stand out in front of more, make herself stand out more than other actors and actresses because they're all on the same level.
The drawing recording or demo recording, our managers will judge us. The acting was good. We can take it, but they don't know how to act. So it's quite strange. Yeah, but we cannot make our demo tape by ourselves because we are affiliated with two agencies, so 勝手に営業しちゃいけないんです。
So there's a rule that you can't, the affiliated actors and actresses can't go out and get the business from themselves. They have to ask the company to get it for them, which is the manager who is doing all the business side.
でデモテープができるといろんな制作会社に配ってくれるんですけど。
And once the demo tape is finished, they give the demo tape to each like different a company that makes the animes.
But who wants to listen 200 actors demo tape? It takes maybe 3 hours or 4 hours. Yeah, but it's a very big problem for us because we have to be outstanding. That Japanese tend to do what is safe, but it's a kind of gamble. We have to take chance sometimes. So I think it's a problem, kind of problem. We are always just waiting, but we have to go fighting to get job. Yeah.
Wow.
Something you have to recognize too with the acting industry, like the whole industry in general, is it's different everywhere. So if you get the question, you know, with this type of panel up here, how do you get into voice acting? It's different in Vancouver versus Calgary versus LA or Texas or Tokyo. There's all sorts of different nuances and things. So there's a lot of different answers to how do you get into voice acting. The best thing you can do is research what's happening in your area, and a good bank for that, at least I can speak for this, you know, being in Canada, is we have an acting union called ACTRA that runs right across Canada. So you can get a list from them of reputable agencies, and it doesn't mean that I'm, you know, trying to get you guys to go and sign up with agencies and stuff, but they're probably your best resource for information as to what's happening in the area that you live, depending on where it is.
We're a very international panel.
That's right. Yeah, it's like a country group, yeah.
All right, thank you guys for that. And we've caused even more questions. I think it's like gotten more my pockets.
7 more minutes.
Are you serious?
Oh, what, really?
We've been going really fast.
Wow, wow.
We do, just so you know, we do have another one of these panels exactly like this tomorrow because, geez, you guys have some really good questions.
Yeah.
We talk too much clearly.
This is done at 2 o'clock.